Welcome to NRL 360, rugby league from every angle, brought to you by Ford Everest. On a sunny Saturday afternoon in the nation's capital, the Raiders broke a 35-year drought to claim the minor premiership. It capped off an incredible season for Ricky Stuart, and while he savoured the moment, the Canberra coach has his sights firmly set on an even bigger prize.
Welcome to a very special day where history beckons. The Canberra Raiders on the verge of their first minor premiership in 35 years. And the crowd is standing. This is extraordinary here. Fogarty goes to the air. The wind dragging it back here to Taruba. Oh, he's done it. Jet Stewart. Oh, Jet Stewart scores. Fogarty the receiver. Horsburgh down the middle. Big Red is over. Strange early ball. Sasagi goes for it. Sasagi's over. Oh! What a shot! Oh, Skelton has crushed Strange, but Strange straight back up, and Skelton is paying the price. What is Ethan Strange made of? Here's an offload. Tarpany away. In for Ethan Strange! The minor premiership, the Gilpin Shield! It is coming to Canberra for the first time in 35 years. They can unpack it now. They can get rid of the bubble wrap.
They've just been very consistent all year, mate. They've just worked real hard, and it's just been a wonderful season for them so far. And you know, you win this competition, but the big one's yet to come. That's the one that you'll want to win, and it's a big 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us, 6 weeks ahead of us.
Welcome to Gordon Tallers, Buzz Rothfield and Brent Reid, and the Raiders break a 35-year drought to secure the minor premiership. What a team, what a game, what a performance, what a coach, Gordy, and what a season it has been for the Canberra Raiders.
Sitting on the couch, you know, the scenes, it was fantastic. I had to go down there in the middle of winter and play some of those great Raiders side. Well, this side is just as good. I know they're young and the names mightn't be as big, but what they've done this year to get that whole community behind them, sell-out crowd. It was great scenes when they wheeled the trophy in and they got to, got to hold it up, and it's a great story at the moment.
Mate, I think most of us thought this time next week they'd be out on Mad Monday. They started brilliantly in Las Vegas with that Warriors game. They had a real tough travel schedule. Those first they overcame it all. And it is so good for rugby league to have such a team that plays such attractive football about to go into the finals.
And they're just never beaten, Buzz, are they? We've seen it all year with them. They play with such passion and drive. And look, you said it, there were plenty of people out there who wrote them off. Said that with the spoon, some blokes we know. Who? Do I have to name him?
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention Michael Carriana. So where did you have him, Reid?
I had him out of the 8. I didn't have him last, so great.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
I had him I imagined. I knew they'd win games at home. I knew that they wouldn't win the spoon because they'd always win games at home. And Ricky's such a passionate guy, but he's done an amazing job, Ricky Stuart.
Buzz, there's some narcs out there. There's plenty of narcs questioning their draw and saying that they haven't played the top 8 teams as much as others and yada. What do you say to them?
Well, that happens all the time. People question the integrity of the draw because not everyone plays the top 8 sides.
And you've been in the lab again, Buzz.
Oh, no, this is not mine. This was, I think, sent to Mitch Diffin today. But as that graphic showed out, the Roosters have only had, the Raiders have only had 8 games against the top 8 sides, which, you know, is softish. Well, clubs like the Roosters have had 12 games against top 8 sides. Storm, Bulldogs, Broncos have had 11. However, I spoke about their schedule. No other club went from Las Vegas to Townsville to Darwin to Auckland to Gold Coast to Brisbane.
You forgot to mention too, Buzz. They only had 8, but they won 7 of them.
That's a great record.
So, they didn't play as many top 8 teams as others, but their success rate is well above the others.
Well, that's what I take out of it when I look at that, Braith. What I take out of that is they won 7 of 8 games against top 8 sides. So that, to me, shows they're legit. Like, you can't say they had a soft draw. They beat, when they played the top sides, they put them to the sword. And that's all you can ask.
The other important thing is, when I spoke about that horrific travel schedule...
It was a bad draw,
mate,
in terms of that.
They did not have a bye. They had theirs, 3 of them, in the second round of the season. So what Ricky's done with that side, he is such an odds-on favourite to win Coach of the Year.
He has to win it. Now, you think it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Ready? You've got Melbourne and you've got the Raiders, and you think no one else.
I think the rest can just about put a line through them.
You reckon they should just go home? Just not
Might
even
as
turn
well.
up?
Might as well not turn up.
Penrith?
No, they can't.
Okay.
Gordy, Penrith cannot win it. They will play.
Brisbane.
Brisbane,
You're on the match
my
bus.
only caveat is that if Brisbane finish top 4, I think they're dangerous, right? But Penrith, I know everyone's talking Penrith and they rested 16 players, but I said it, to me, that's just a Hail Mary because they know they're on life support.
No Dogs. The way they played the other
Well, how
week.
can the Dogs win it the way they're going at the moment? They're not playing well enough. So, for me, they're the obvious 2 standout sides.
Oof, that's a brave call.
You reckon?
You've had the red pen out a few times this year.
I've written off Penrith a few times over the past 4 years, yeah. But they're probably happy
all
I'm
the
sitting
time.
behind.
I think most teams are happy you
But
put
I mean,
a
you
pen
look, Penrith, for example, you look at their draw, they're going to have to probably travel to Shark Park or the Warriors week 1 of the finals.
I don't think it worries them. They don't have a
Yeah,
home
but Gordy,
ground
then
at
they've
the
got to
moment.
win that.
They
Then
don't
they're
have
gonna
a
to go to
home
The
ground.
thing you're
potentially
forgetting,
Suncorp or-
Reedy, is whether you like it or not, Ivan has freshened them up.
Yeah.
And they've got to go bang, 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 and win 4 straight to win the title.
I think it's beyond. I don't think they can do it.
They can't win
think they
4
can.
games in a row.
Not four.
Penrith can't.
Not 4 at that time of the year in that competition, all on the road, Gordy, and they will all be on the road. No, they cannot win it.
All right, blockbuster final round on Fox League. Make sure you check it out. I know everyone will. Now, let's have a look at the ladder because there are teams jockeying for positions and we've done the top 10 here. Now, the big fight is on for top 4, Brisbane, Cronulla and the New Zealand Warriors and, of course, the top 8 there with the Roosters and the Dolphins. Manly are a long shot. It's looking unlikely, but that'll be a battle there who gets that position. But the fight for 4th, let's look at that. Let's dive into that a little bit closer now. Broncos, 1 out, 1 back. Cronulla, a big chance. And the Warriors, well, they're looking unlikely as well, right? So how do you guys see it? How's this going to pan out? Where have you got this finishing?
Well, Brisbane have to beat Melbourne, and that's a big task that I don't think they have in the past. You know, if you're a betting man, you probably say the Sharks, right? But it's a funny game, rugby league. So I think Brisbane are a chance of beating Melbourne. I reckon this is all eggs in the basket.
Yeah, I
Brisbane.
think it's worked against the Broncos that, to use Craig Bellamy's word, Melbourne Storm was so embarrassing last week. That would, I think, stop him resting more players this week and demand a much improved performance. So I think that game's even money if ever I've seen one. Yeah. The Sharks, I think they'll win, so I think the Broncos are going to have to beat Melbourne to run forward.
Sharks will beat the Dogs.
I think they can. I would not be surprised at all if Cameron Serrao
Broncos are looking pretty fresh, Buzz.
players. Yeah, they are looking fresh. I know you want to bring up your army camp and the second camp.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring any of them. I was just talking about
didn't
they
you?
look fresh on the weekend.
What did you think of his half-time address the other day?
I thought it was inspiring.
Oh, was it?
Inspiring.
Didn't remind you of Tales of Tiger Town?
No baseball.
All that.
All right, now,
Tales of a Bronco, you reckon?
let's have a look at the race for the 8. Roosters, wow. Now, I said this for the last few weeks.
What's going to happen,
They're
mate?
taking on the Bunnies. We know how much the Bunnies hate the Roosters. The fans are fired up. This is going to be electric. It really is, because if the Bunnies want to ruin or spoil anyone's party, it is the Sydney Roosters.
Yeah.
I just don't think South are in... I don't think they have the form. So they say Murray might be back. They say that they're going to get a lot of their troops back. But
No,
I think,
Latrell, though, Gordy. Latrell's not playing. Latrell won't play.
is that 100%?
It came from a bloke who should know. And
Yeah,
he
right.
said that pinched nerve in his neck's no good, so it looks like he won't play.
Where'd that come from?
Did
Wayne.
it come from Latrell?
Wayne.
The coach.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
well,
that matters.
He's out.
Yeah.
He's out then.
All right, we'll get to the Roosters.
He's out there, isn't he?
But what about Cameron Murray, who hasn't played all season with an Achilles? He's talking about coming
We'll
back.
get to this, Buzz. I want to focus more on the 8th position here.
Hey, mate, can I just say something about the 4?
You can say whatever you like.
So there's every chance this week that Brisbane, Cronulla and the Warriors lose. Penrith have missed an opportunity here. I mean, if they played the top side last weekend, they'd have been on 33. If all those 3 sides fall over, Penrith win this week,
You know how you
they'd have
said
gone
it's
to 4th.
unlikely that you think Penrith will win the comp? I think it's unlikely that all 3 teams are going to lose.
Brisbane have got Melbourne.
But you last
Cronulla
week,
have
I'm
got
sure you
Canterbury.
favoured
Little
his
rest
stand
players.
down.
And the Warriors have got Manly. Mate, there's every chance all
Are
3
you
of
back
them
on the
lose.
Manly?
Manly will be the Warriors. Warriors are shot to bits, please.
So, are we saying Dolphins no, or are we saying Dolphins yes?
Well,
Oh, no, I think East win. I've got no doubt at all that East, the way they played against Melbourne, they need to win. It's all over. The Roosters win.
I'm not putting a line through the Dolphins. The Roosters have been they've been up and down this year. And I know they were good in the second half the other night, but their first half.
Who's finishing 8th already?
I think the Dolphins finish. I think Souths will get them.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I walked down to Suncorp yesterday, and the Dolphins is a real, they want to play finals, and there's a hope and there's a glimmer of hope. They were desperate to win yesterday to keep their.
But
finals.
there's no hope if East win on.
Yeah, I know,
Saturday.
but do you know what? South and East have played these games.
We've
where
seen
it's
it
been
before.
one each.
If
1
Latrell
point.
was playing, but Wayne's dropped the scoop with Reedy. If Latrell was playing,
Has
I'd
Wayne
give him a
ever
chance.
told any porky pies?
I don't know. I'm not.
That's a point.
Dummy.
We send the
I'll
occasional
tell you
text
one thing.
message.
Reedy's been sold plenty dummies in the past.
true.
This could be one of the better
Sure,
ones.
well,
Now
yeah,
everyone's
I'll face
been
it,
whinging or not whinging, split on this debating. I would say the resting of the Panthers and 16 players. But Buzz, you have a solution.
Well, it's not my actual solution. It's a solution that Graham Annesley came up with many years ago to have this wild card weekend. Where it'll stop teams resting players is, so after 27 rounds, the top 6 get a weekend off, 7 plays 10, 8 plays 9 for the right to take the last 2 spots in the finals. It's gathered momentum since Cleary rested his entire playing squad with the line of thinking he won't want 2 rests in 3 weeks. He'll keep playing. He'll have to avoid finishing 7th or 8th. Smart people in the game like Blake Solly, Dave Donaghy are now supporting it, and I think there's mild support.
I think it's got merit, but it doesn't stop Penrith from still resting players. If you're going to finish 7th, 8th, 9th or 10th, and your players need a rest, you're going to rest them.
It's not going to stop resting.
So they give them a week off without getting a
They'll
week
actually
off.
do nothing to stop resting. I'll tell you why, Buzz. Penrith, as they sit right now, will finish 6th. Let me get this right. 7th or 8th.
Take your time, Reedy.
You've just answered my question.
No, but
they rested.
If it was 7, 8, 9, 10 playing a wildcard weekend, they're locked in. They would have got a home final anyway. Look at that ladder. They'll finish 7th or 8th. They can't move.
So then they would have rested
that's
them.
my exact
So they
point.
would rest players this week
But I
and
don't
play
know
them in
how I
wildcard.
don't know how I can properly explain it to you. He wouldn't have rested them last week.
No, he'd rest them this week.
knowing that he had to make the. So
He'd
you
rest them
really
this
think?
week.
You really think?
He'd rest them this week because
So he wouldn't want to make the top 6.
They still get
They
a week
can't
off.
make the
Buzz.
top 6. Look at the ladder. They can't
If
make
they'd
it.
played last week and won, they would have made the top 6.
And if they'd lost like they did, he would have rested players
but
this
you
week.
said they made a mistake. They could have finished in the top
Before
4 by
they did,
playing
yeah.
them. Well, make your mind up.
Well, mate, Buzz, they're going to finish 7th or 8th regardless. They would rest players this week.
Maybe,
It's
but,
not gonna
but
stop
they wouldn't
resting,
have
Buzz.
last week.
You're not going to...
No,
Listen,
stop
Buzz,
resting.
people are overseeing it. Penrith have played in 4 grand finals. Their top players would have averaged probably 40 more games in the last 4 years than most sides that haven't played the 8. They deserve a rest. They've played a full season, their top players. To give them 1 weekend off, they deserve it. They can flex their muscles.
But what I'm saying is, and that's why I like Wildcard Weekend, is because the top 6 clubs get that bonus of a rest that you're sitting
and I
here
agree
and
with
arguing
that.
for.
No, and I agree with that. You just talk about resting.
At
It won't
the back
stop
end
clubs
of the
from resting.
competition, it keeps more fans engaged, trying to finish 9th or 10th.
What do you
Can
think,
someone
Brad?
tell me why a team finishes 10th and has a chance to make the finals? Can just
ridiculous.
explain that to me?
Well, it's like saying a team that's run 8th. Should they, in a 17-team
No,
comp,
it's not,
should
because they
8th?
finished
It
8th
is.
and this is top 8.
Well,
They've
At
finished
least, at least most teams that finish 8th win more games than they lose.
Yeah.
Or
But under this system,
Manly-
teams that run 7th or 8th are going to have lesser chance of doing a miracle and going through in that they've got this extra game to play.
Why don't we just have 14 teams in the finals, Buzz, or 16?
Oh, right.
Just throw it open to everyone.
But I can't believe it.
Give everyone a medal. It's like kids'
A
sport.
minute ago, I wish we could get a producer to rewind it. You said Penrith may have cost themselves a top 4 by resting.
Yeah.
And now you don't.
No, because you've proposed a solution to resting that doesn't solve resting.
So you're saying Blake Solly's got no idea, Dave Donaghy's got no idea.
be careful, Buzz.
No, well, you are. These are,
I'm
they're
saying
respected
on this,
officials.
Great,
You've
love them
named,
both.
you've named 2
What
officials.
about when it
But
gets...
on this
You've named 2 officials.
Well, that's who I rang, the first 2 I rang.
But 2's not really going to...
Why didn't you ring us to?
Like,
Hey?
On this, they're misguided.
With all due respect.
Because if you think this is a solution to resting, you're kidding yourself.
Well,
it's not going to
I'll tell you what we'll do then. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do what the AFL does. Everyone rests. No football for a weekend. What?
They're about to get rid of that concept because what it does is it rewards the bottom 4 teams in the 8. It freshens them up as well when they don't deserve to be freshened up.
Oh, right.
So they're about to get rid of that concept, apparently. I'm told.
If it's a 20-team competition,
you'll wear it.
There's probably more merit to it, right?
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And these officials both said that let's wait until we get an 18-team competition and start at them when the Perth Bears come in. Yeah. I actually think it's a very, very good idea. I love fan engagement. I would love...
What are the fans saying? Have you got any feedback from the fans?
Oh, I've had... no one's bagging it.
Yeah.
I don't mind the concept. What I'm saying is it will not solve resting.
Same here.
Okay? I also think...
So you're sort of on board now.
To keep more fans. I think it rewards too many teams. I don't think they deserve it. If Manly miss the finals...
But it's not going to reward them, Reedy.
Well,
you know the teams it rewards. It rewards the top 6 teams by getting a week off.
But it doesn't solve the problem that you're talking about.
It does. It makes 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th.
It's not a bad idea. An extra round as well?
Yeah, so what happens? You'd bring the comp back to 26 weeks, okay, instead of 27 weeks. You'd have a double header on a Saturday night, the week before the proper finals start, with the 7th first 10th, 8th first 9, a core stadium, Suncorp Stadium, massive, massive sudden death television ratings, big crowds, and the top 6 clubs get the rest.
They would play at Allianz or Suncorp double header. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm suggesting on a Saturday that you could play one game at 5:30 and on the next game at 8:30. Are there any other faults you want to pick?
Now I'm looking at this.
You scare me sometimes.
Can I just say, that actually gives no one a home ground advantage. So they will all,
That's good.
They will all rest their players the week before wildcard weekend.
Oh, will they?
Because they're not trying to win a home final. They're not trying to win a home final.
To keep more fans in the game,
weekend.
Buzz, I give it a tick. You know, and if some teams have a lot of injuries, you know, and they still make the top 8, I think they can have a chance.
I want to get out of a situation where last Thursday night at a core stadium,
you won't.
The Canterbury Bulldogs were gifted 2 competition points. Gifted.
That was a wild thing.
Hold on.
Look, 16 players.
Just let me finish.
That's never ever happened.
Every other side that's played Penrith this year have had to work their backsides off and to get those 2 points. Canterbury were gifted them. There is no integrity in this comp. While I don't mind them resting what Ricky's doing, 6, 7, even 8, but just
hold on, so you can rest 8. They can be your best players, but you can't rest.
But you don't wipe out your whole squad and rob the fans.
So you're okay with the fans. You say you're okay with investing 8 or 9 players.
Let's move on. Let's move on from this.
Well, it's very hard to talk sense into you.
Is it talking sense into us or is it talking sense into you? I don't know.
Solid over there.
I was sitting
in the green room saying,
sitting out of this.
It's not bad.
I was doing you a favour sitting out of it, but I think we should move on, Buzz, all right?
And let's ignore these really smart officials.
Yeah.
And you 3 know more than them. All right? That'll do me. Next, please.
You made a good point.
We probably do about footy.
You did make a good point with the resting, okay? Now, the Panthers going to rest anyone this week because if they don't, the Dragons, well, it could get ugly. Or not.
I don't know.
No, I don't think they are.
No, they're not.
I think it could really get ugly for the Dragons because you've got a lot of blokes who are playing their last game.
So full strength, we're thinking Penrith this week?
Full strength, I'd imagine. Fresh, ready to go. Dragons season's over. I think if they're not really careful, the Dragons, it could get real messy.
You can't keep resting players. You know, footballers have got to be hard and match fit. You can't. You know you can't. A lot of clubs like really hard, tough games going into the finals to prepare themselves.
You know, if it's another club, but as I said, they've been in 4 grand finals. They would have played 40-odd games, which is a full season. So I think they have a right to do whatever they need to do to make sure that they play finals and play to the best of their ability.
I agree they've got the right, but I think the rule needs to be changed to stop them having the right.
Rudy, a couple of big losses for the Dragons. What's the noise coming out of there at the moment?
Oh, I can't imagine it's a happy camp, Braith. I mean, as you said, they've sort of tailed off as the season's come to an end and things aren't going great at the moment. So, look, I haven't really spoken to anyone there, but my feeling is that it's not great and they're looking forward to next year.
But that's a feel, and that's a pretty serious, like, the players are off the coach,
I didn't say that.
Well, when you say there's a bad feeling inside the 4 walls of the club, which is basically
I said things aren't going great. That's my sense. They've lost some games.
The scoreboard shows that, doesn't it?
Okay, so you agree with me?
No, I just... you know...
Have either of you heard anything here? Because I feel there's some tension in the air.
Have you?
Well, I've heard that some players are unhappy, obviously, but that's why players are leaving.
So
because they're not happy with how
finally
things
you
are
said
going.
that because that's what Buzz said. It feels like that you were insinuating that.
Yeah, well, I think we've all heard it, haven't we? You've heard it as well, Buzz, or not? There's some players who are unhappy with how things have unfolded.
Look, I've sort of heard, you know, that there's been some question marks there at different periods of the season. We had the Burger story mid-year. And, you know, a hand signal that was apparently directed at Kyle Flanagan and that sort of thing. But I think when you look back on this season, you give them a pass mark, just a pass mark, because they were a bit like the Raiders, in my view.
I wish you were my teacher.
Yeah, blimey.
Well,
How do you give them a pass mark?
Have we got the full ladder? Where are they?
Where are they coming? I don't even know.
Well, you look at their
15th.
roster.
They're coming 15th.
Oh, they 15th.
You're passing that.
I might give them -3.
Mate, it's a huge off-season for Flano. I mean, they haven't recruited particularly well. I think they've signed Daniel Atkinson, and he's got a big off-season ahead of him.
All right, Friday night at Amy Park, the stage was set for one of our greatest ever coaches to celebrate an incredible milestone, but the Roosters had other ideas.
Here he is, Craig Bellamy, looking on, the epitome of a perfectionist, never accepts mediocrity, and he'll expect nothing but the best from the Melbourne Storm tonight. Here we go. It is the Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters. Last tackle, Pappenhausen, short pass, just beautiful, and it's short ball. Here it comes to Peasant, here comes Warbrick, batted back, magnificent, this is in. Landon Smith, Savali on, Tedesco, this time goes himself, miracle pass, to Wanganita Waze! Try! Butcher has got Wanganese inside, surely, Siwa Wong, pins the ears back, Roosters in again! Gets into it with Lembu, short side place, handed Smith, he could get 4, mark the Wanganita Waze! Radley gets rid of it, Toya, yes, Roosters on fire! Oh, hello, Radley leaks up, Savala's away, it's on again, see you later, James Tedesco.
Boy, one of the great attacking sides when they get going.
They are going to put 40 on Melbourne in one half.
I can't think of, I can think of a couple of words, but I probably can't say them, but on that second half, like that was 40-0 in a half of footy. That's embarrassing. That's about the nicest word I could use.
That was the turning point, thanks to Ashley and Martin Medical Hair Centres. Craig Bellamy was filthy. The Roosters crash, the Melbourne Storm and Craig's party. But one question I've got. Where were you, Reedy, on the weekend?
Oh, I was in Melbourne, Braith. Yeah, I was at the stadium.
Whereabouts?
I watched the game in Craig's box, actually.
Oh, there
in
you
the
are.
background, look at me, hiding.
Oh.
I was hiding behind Ellie.
Oh, there you are. Are you the great mock, are you?
I was hoping Craig didn't see me. He wasn't in the best of moods.
How was the experience? How did you get in there? Talk us through this one.
So I went down there for Craig's 600th dinner on Wednesday night. And afterwards on Thursday, they had a captain's run. I just went up to him and said, Craig, I've got a bit of an amber claim. I probably know the answer to this. But is there any chance for your 600 that I come and watch the game in your box with you and do a story? I said, you'll get to see the story. He said, OK. And that was it. And I went in the box. He didn't utter a word to me the whole time. I basically hid outside the door. He walked in the room. I snuck in the back, stood there and watched it unfold.
Did you have your tape recorder going and all that?
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything what you don't see on TV? Because
I'll tell you what I noticed about him. He obviously explodes, right?
Yep.
When things don't go well. But, man, he switches back on straight away.
Yep.
So he'll vent and then he'll be back on the job. That's what I noticed about him. I think we all think he's a raving lunatic in that box at times, but he's not. He's very
calm.
Second half, he was a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But
So you're taking no responsibility for that, Lord?
no, none at all, bro. I tried to tip him a couple of things, but he didn't seem
Victorian
open
now,
for it.
I don't expect you'll be invited back
Probably
after
not.
that second half.
Hey, Buzz, you've had a go before, haven't you?
I think
In the box?
Yeah, well, your track record isn't great.
listening to Reedy's story, there's a lesson here for clubs. Do not
Yeah.
have...
Where's Buzz?
Oh, Buzz,
There he
he's
is.
in the background.
Yeah.
Are you doing stats there?
No.
oh, New South Wales, did we win 8 in a row?
Yeah, please. There's a lesson in here, do not have a journalist in your box. So I went to Laurie Daly, similar to what Reedy did with Bellyache, and I said to him before the game, can I sit in your box and do a live report, take everyone inside the coaching box? I remember he was here, there was Laurie, Matt Parrish, the assistant Gavin Wood, who was his security guy, Gav, And Robbie Farah was there too. He was out injured. The scoreline was 50-6 to Queensland.
Oh, it's uncool.
I had a tape recorder going.
You too. Oh.
I wish I'd kept the tape to play to Laurie someday, because I would have edited every second word.
Yeah.
Laurie's the loveliest bloke, as you all know, but that was such a pressurised situation that night, as Queensland just bashed us.
Yeah. All right, stick around, journos. The NFL is back. This Friday, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys in the season opener, and you can watch all the action from 10 a.m. live on ESPN.
It's NFL season on ESPN.
Energy, energy, energy.
You know what that means. Friday, busy.
What a shot.
Monday, locked off all day.
For this place absolutely buzzing.
Tuesday, sorry, got plans.
Wide open, touchdown.
It's that toe-tapping, pick-sixing, game-winning drive time of year.
Wow, what a catch.
So bring your calendar. The NFL is on ESPN.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the nominees for our Sportsbet Player of the Round. Jump online and vote now. Jacob Preston, Mark Nwanganitawase and Ronaldo Mulatalo, the hat-trickers, all of them bagging hat-tricks. And what about Marky Mark with 4? He was outstanding.
So good.
I'm allowed to call him Marky Mark.
I called him his proper name, and then I called him Marky Mark.
Wanganitawase for me.
Nwanganitawase. Nwanganitawase.
Oh, finally.
And he could have had 5.
Rudy.
Nwanganitawase.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
no,
All right.
yeah.
Titans lodged complaint with the NRL with allegations Ezra Howe was building a Bears hit list. Explain this to me, guys. Who's got the information on this?
Well, they're very serious allegations that Ezra Howe, while employed by the Titans, fully paid job, got an offer to join the new Perth Bears organisation in Titans time on Titans computers, Titans printout machines. He put together a list that included 5 or 6 Titans players for Mal Meninga to chase for the Perth franchise. Now, he had intricate knowledge of, what they were on, the years left on their contract. I guess you can get that off a website anyway. Yeah. And then went round with other players in the competition he should be chasing. And while he's employed at the Titans, his job is to improve the football side Des Hasler had and work for finding them some solutions for next year, not to work for Mal. Black and
I've got a
white.
couple of issues here, right?
Black and
One
white.
is, all he did was supply information that we all knew anyway. The NRL...
To a rival franchise.
Well, he wasn't working for him at the time.
Well, why don't you go and... let me.
Player contracts are on the NRL website. It's not that hard.
What
we
about
just did
the
a rich
money?
list and told everyone what everyone's on.
But
it's
they're
actually
his
not that hard.
valuations.
And the second thing is, the Gold Coast, we all knew he was going to Perth. It got written over and over again. Why did the Gold Coast keep him around? Ezra's mistake here is doing it on a Gold Coast computer. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done it on his work computer.
He shouldn't have done
he was
anything.
Smart. Oh, come on.
He should have resigned.
Mate, well,
he should have resigned.
Or they should have said, go on gardening
He should have
leave.
said, I've agreed to join Perth, I'll resign.
What if they didn't know?
Well, they knew. Gordy,
What if
we
they
all
didn't
knew.
know?
We all knew he was going
We
to the
all knew.
Bears. What did you think he was doing? What did we think he was doing?
Well, I didn't know. I thought he was at the Titans, and I'm there.
Well, they should have got rid of him, Gordy. They should have moved on.
The question
when
I'll
the
ask
news
you.
came out.
The question I'll ask you.
Yep.
What would Michael Miller think of you if you went and did an article or gave all your information to your rivals?
I haven't got a job at my rivals. There's no job there for me. I'm not working for them. I'm working for News.
What would happen?
He was going. He was going anyway. And all he did was supply information that's readily available.
He did not. He gave his expert opinion on 16 to 18 players from around the competition as an experienced recruitment guy working for the Titans to a rival franchise. That's what he did. He should have done the honourable thing and resigned when he accepted the Perth job. That is so black and white, Reedy. It's not funny. That's what you do in business.
Do you think any other recruitment officers ever done this before, Buzz?
I'm not aware of any that have.
Can I say...
If I had to ask you...
Well, I'll tell you now. Let's look at Peter O'Sullivan. I'll give you an example with Peter O'Sullivan, right?
Yeah.
He left the Dolphins. He went to Newcastle.
You don't think he
could
took
have gone to
information
St
with
George.
him, or he had ideas of who he
I
wanted to
don't
get?
think prior to his departure from the Dolphins he did anything.
This isn't Peter. I'm talking about in general.
But what I'm saying is last year he extended Katoa.
Yeah.
you know, to a long-term contract. I am not aware of a recruitment manager, and the fella at
He extended Keanu Kinney while he was there. Extended him for a long time.
Yeah.
Keanu Kinney.
Yeah, but hold on. The fella who's just left the Canberra Raiders who helped Ricky build...
Joel Cavani.
Joel.
Yeah.
He's gone to the Roosters. I can guarantee you the moment he resigned and told them he was going, he did no further business for the club. But he did the honourable thing and he was up front and told them he was going.
Can I ask really, if this happened at the Roosters, what do you reckon would happen?
Well,
Would there be more noise around it?
Nick would have got rid of him straight away. He wouldn't have kept him around like the Gold Coast
But what if
did.
he was unaware?
We're all aware, Buzz. It was written in the paper for weeks that he was going to the Bears. It was written in the paper that they were going to chase Tino. It was written in the paper that they were going to chase Jaden
He hasn't
Campbell.
even agreed
Well,
to go.
well, that's because this has happened, and he probably won't end up there now.
So you knew he's going, but there was no contract
He's
there.
paid a pretty significant price for it. Gordy has reported for weeks that he was going.
He should have walked out.
Is this
They
an
probably should
NRL?
have, but they should have got rid of him as well.
But is this an NRL issue problem, or is it a Titans and Ezra and
Well, it's both
Bears?
because the NRL own the Perth Bears. It's a really embarrassing position. They're about to hire this recruitment guy and he's been exposed for double dipping and doing two jobs
Well, they're
at
not going
once.
to hire him now, Buzz. He's not in their payroll. I actually don't think it's an NRL issue. I think it's a Gold Coast issue. It's a Gold Coast employment issue. And yes, they've got a right to sue him or do whatever
it is an NRL
But why?
issue when they
How?
were poised to sign this guy to
He's
run
not
their
signed.
recruitment.
He doesn't work for
But
them.
he was poised to, and he had started working for them while he was employed by that club. You know he was.
It is alleged too, right? It's alleged.
It's,
This is
of
all
course,
alleged.
yeah. But I look, there has been a forensic examination of the Titans computers where old emails have been uncovered with some sort of evidence.
Can I say both real quick? We often have assistant coaches who are going to other clubs, and while they're at their existing clubs, they work on the side on where they're going.
Can you give me an example?
Mate, Josh Hannay, for example, I know he's rung Tino, he told me yesterday. He's currently employed at the Cronulla. And I'm not insinuating anything against Josh Hannay, who's one of the most decent and honourable blokes
But
going
you
around.
can't honestly
But
say
what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying
happen.
is
No,
that he is employed by
you've been in this
Cronulla.
game
I'll guarantee you one thing.
You've been in this game long enough to know that recruitment and assistant coaches and coaches go elsewhere and they communicate and they line things up and they organise that.
I think that's a poor example because knowing Josh Hannay,
hey.
Josh Hannay would have gone to Craig Fitzgibbon and said, mate, are you okay if I speak to a couple of these boys, right?
Please, I'm not having to go at Josh.
It's like Shane Flanagan before he went to St George. He was working at Manly, but did he start recruitment at St George? I don't know.
That's right. You'll never know, Buzz. And in this instance, Ezra, well, they've found information, right? But I can guarantee it's happened before. Knights identify a list of candidates as process begins to replace Adam O'Brien. Where are we at with this? Where are we at? I keep hearing all these names and candidates and all this. Reedy, apparently you're pushing for someone pretty strong tonight. I heard a rumour in the green room.
I'm a fan of Blake Green. I've known him a long time, covered him in his career. A lot of people are pointing at Blake Green and going, well, he's been in charge of the attack and they've got the worst attack in the comp this year. 2 years ago, Blake, they had the best attack in the comp. When Kalen Ponga was fit for the entire year...
You're going back 2 years.
Well, that's the last time they probably had a fit squad.
Who's his manager, Reedy?
His manager's Isaac Moses. But you know what? I hear you like sit in this panel and you go, oh, Isaac Moses, he's got the coach at Newcastle, he controls the club. I think he's got one or two players there.
That's not the question. Who do you think's the best coach?
I just told you, I think Blake Green
is the
deserves
best
a
coach
chance.
out of Justin Holbrook and Brad Arthur and Willie Peters.
Well, I don't think Brad's in the mix, Gordy. Brad Arthur's not in the mix.
But why wouldn't they go and get the best coach?
Because he's just done a long-term deal in leagues.
But Reedy, can I just say that there's massive confusion and I think there's a split in the ranks at Newcastle. This afternoon they announced Michael Hagan, Peter Parr, Chris James, Jeff Coburn and Tony Price on a committee to decide and for the committee to then go to a 7-man board to make a decision. Yeah. Do you really need that many people involved in the hiring? I'm all for... So you got Blake Green, you got people pushing for Dean Young, Justin Holbrook, Willie Peters has got fans up there as well.
Yeah, well, that's why they're going to go through a process, Buzz, because they're going to sit down...
But do they need...
Well, they've decided they do. And there's no...
Where's Phil Gardner? Won't he make the ultimate decision?
Buzz, the issue they've got is, when it came to Josh Hannay, he was the obvious guy, the next bloke in line to coach. When it came to Cameron Ciraldo, he was the next bloke. There's no obvious guy right now. There's no guy you go, he is the next coach in waiting. It's not like Josh or Cameron Strother sitting out there because they were the obvious next man up. There's no obvious next man up. So they thought we'll go through a process.
You didn't finish your push for Blake. I'll let you finish.
Well, he played a part. He played a huge part in getting Dylan Brown to that footy club. Massive role in getting Dylan Brown to that footy club. Significant role in getting Trey Mooney to that football club.
That's not a big rapper right now.
Did they give him 1.4 million?
No, but he played a big role in selling the club to him.
Money, 1.4 million.
Selling the club?
Yes.
Or selling houses? Newcastle.
Look, I'm just telling you how it evolved. I'm just giving you examples of what.
Mate, you can't top Wild Card weekend and you're supporting a bloke who gave him 1.4 million.
Well, you didn't give him 1.4.
Mate, you know, I'd make a comeback for that too. Really.
All right, before we're going to get to a break, so we'll cut this off. But Reece Walsh, what happened today with Reece? Now, this is the footage here. Can someone explain to me what's going on here?
The Broncos
to recover the muscles. I reckon if you
he's about to
just toilet water.
So he's just renovated his house, Brady. He was having a bit of a joke. He's just had a toilet installed. We've got to stress that toilet's never been used. Okay, that's clean water. And Braith was having a bit of a joke. It's a bit of toilet humour. It's just missed
I got
the
my
mark.
toilet replaced today. I should have done it.
Go and do it.
Mate, if it was a trend, I would have done it.
On Snapchat as well.
I've got a 6-year-old that's not good.
The Broncos have said in their statement it was a poor attempt at humour, which I probably agree with.
Toilet humour, they call it.
Yeah, there you go.
Strange, wasn't it?
It was strange.
I think we should just better leave it at that, eh?
He's a bit left field, though.
You two all right?
Yeah,
we're good.
I'm always all right with Rudy. Oh, of course we are.
Oh, best mates.
Fist pump.
All right. Thanks, journos. Up next, it's Heavy Hitters with the one and only Ray Hadley.
Off a Kenny special, and Conan's in for a try.
81, 82, 83, in 47, no premierships, and then 3 in succession.
You get them come through together, you're very lucky.
Starting to Cronin. Cronin is in.
On the bus, we're going to a Planners semi-final. So I'm in the middle of the bus.
I did sit down
Old
at the
blokes
back.
at the back. Real bozos
What, in the
at
no
front.
smoking section?
Clivvy's, this waft of smoke come past. What the hell? It hits Bozo. He doesn't even turn around. Cliffy, put out that cigarette. Like he's in year 9.
I'll tell you a little story. Billy Peden's mother was a sister to my uncle. Uncle Noel gets a message to Mum one day and says, you know, Billy's your second cousin.
Well, guess what, Ray?
What?
Billy's our second cousin.
No! Yes, he is! Cousin, come here! Oh, all these years, I knew there was a synergy.
All those years you bagged me. You're bagging a family member.
Oh, no!
Welcome back next Tuesday following NRL 360. It's the first episode of Ray Hadley's Face to Face, and Ray joins us now. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you, Bray. Thank you, Gordon. Great to be with you.
And next week, Face to Face with Ray Hadley kicks off. Now, we've just found out that you and Matty Johns are related. Talk us through that.
I will, for the fear of other people thinking something's untoward, distant relations through the great Billy Peden, the back rower from the Newcastle club, which we'll explain, of course, when we talk to Matthew in the face-to-face. It was Steve Crawley's idea. I called 35 grand finals, and he thought it would be opportune to talk to blokes that I knew well, and we went through a list of people I do know well, starting with Mick Cronin. He's actually godfather to my eldest daughter, and I've been mates of his for 41 years. And even though I didn't call him in the grand final, I didn't start till 87, I was there on the sideline for his last appearance in 86 with Ray Price when they won and retired. So,
What was he so good in a team full of such superstars?
Well, I defer to Jack Gibson. Jack Gibson used to have this theory that there was always a player, the other players, when they ran out and looked around and saw a bloke there, they felt comfortable. They felt like they could win. And Cronin was that player. Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about, he played with Beatson, he played with Bob O'Reilly, two of the greatest props of all time, Peter Sterling, Brett Kenny, Steve Ella, Eric Groth. You know, all these wonderful players, captained by Stephen Edge, of course. But he was, you know, look, and he doesn't take anything too seriously. They used to give it to him because Jack reckons he'd never been down to pick up a ball. He wouldn't drop on a ball. So Bear particularly would say, is there any chance you could just strain your back a little and fall on a ball? And Mick always took it in good nature. You know, he's just a great bloke.
I saw you talking to Cliffy Lyons. You couldn't get a bloke further away from the professional era as Cliffy Lyons.
Yeah.
But what a player he was.
Well, again, Bob Fulton and I worked together for 30 years and became very close. He described Napper, Cliffy Lyons, as the most gifted, naturally gifted footballer that he ever coached. And you think about the players Bozo coached at Manly particularly, and then for the test sides. But he's laid back. Someone said to me it might be hard to get Napper to do an interview. I said, I'll get him. And they said, how? I said, well, his mum was a listener to my radio program in the day. And every year before her birthday, I get a message from Napper. Don't forget Mum's birthday tomorrow. So when I rang him, I said, you owe me one. All those birthday calls. He said, you missed her this year. I said, I wasn't on air.
And what about Beaver? I saw you talking to Beaver too.
Yeah.
He was gifted.
Oh, yeah.
Like a totally different back rower to most, but what a player the Beaver was.
Well, his job, according to Bozo, was just to be on the outside of Cliffy. And it worked. He scored those tries. Look, there are plenty of things in the interview about how he came to Manly, you know, how he got there. Both Cliffy and Beaver. Beaver said by his own admission he wasn't one of those elite, you know, players, standout players. He was a representative junior, but I think his first contract was for a few $1,000s. Yeah. And he was being courted by North Sydney at the same time, but Bozo found out about it and did what Bozo normally does, got the signature on paper.
I played with Beaver. He's a legend of a guy and a great player. Now, you're about to interview Craig Bellamy, I believe, for an episode. 600 game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Where do you rate him all time in the coaches' ranks?
Well, I think if you compare eras, players or coaches, it can become odious. But, I mean, his record stands alone. I think Bennett, every great coach dating back to Gibson that I've been involved with seems to be a great manager of men, you know, and seems to have a connection with key players. Gibson certainly had it. Craig certainly got it. So's Wayne, but so's Ivan Cleary. I mean, what he's done is unprecedented. 4 premierships and maybe from outside the top 4 a 5th. But, you know, he'd be in the top 2 or 3, Craig Bellamy, if not the number 1.
You talked about the top 4 or 5. What about Buzz's idea about the wild card?
Did he claim to this, did he?
He claimed it.
Look, I've been battling with this bloke for 42 years. And you saw, I don't know.
I saw it in the green room.
In the green room, he shapes up every time he sees me. He's going to knock me out. Wouldn't, as Blocker would say, wouldn't knock a maggot off a chop. But I mean, it's Graham Ennersley's idea. He came up with this. And I know why Buzz is promoting it. I understand. And there's criticism of the coaches for resting players, but they're not doing anything illegal. No. It's allowed under the rules. And the job of Ivan Cleary and Craig Bellamy and every other coach in that top half dozen or the top 4 particularly is to win the comp. And they've got to do the best they can for their fans and for their club to win the comp. So if you want to usurp it, Buzz is saying, right, top 6 have a week off. So we have then 7, 8 and the other 2, 9 and 10 playing off for a position in a sudden death round. But that's not going to stop the resting of players in the top 6. I mean, you know, particularly the top 4, if they're guaranteed of a minor premiership going into the last round or they're guaranteed of a number 2 position, no matter what happens, you're not going to solve that problem. And I don't know that the NRL can come up with a solution to it.
All right, what about the Raiders, Ray? What a season they've had. Now, Ricky Stewart, now he swears that he hasn't used the doubters to motivate him and his team this year.
Yeah.
Firstly, well, what do you think of that? But also, are you surprised? I know what you're going to say.
I've known Sticky for as long as I've known most people in rugby league, and Sticky's a great mate of mine. I owe him some great debts of gratitude for personal reasons, but Ricky may have been a bit loose with the truth. As it pains me to point out, I'm pretty sure early in the season, Ricky was looking at all the headlines. They're going to be wooden spooners, they're going to be this, there's going to... And I'm pretty sure Ricky, in the vernacular... Not the way I'd say it. He'd say, let's jam it up these people who think we're going to run last. And look, he has done an unbelievable job. I don't think he'd be offended by me saying he's a Bob Fulton type of coach. And he loved Bob. And I remember going down to see him when he first took over at Canberra. I went down with Bozo. We were calling a game together and I went and had coffee with Ricky. And I sat there just in pure amazement at the way these two, the synergy between the two. And look... I don't support any particular team, but I would, you know, I'd love to see Canberra, you know, the first grand final I called, Canberra in it, coached by Wayne Bennett and Donny Ferner, beaten by Bozo's Manly in 87, Cliffy Lyons, Clive Churchill medal winner. Unbelievable game, and Manly deserved the win. When they finally won their comp, I was there again, and the bloke that's coaching them now was pivotal to their success in the 90s. And I just think it'd be great for...
Be a great story.
It's a cliche. It's great for rugby league if Canberra win, but it would be really great.
Ray, we had the great Bulldog Richie on here last week. You're G-Up doing the Matty John's Family podcast.
A lot of people watch this show. A lot of people told me about it.
Mate, and you're rang. But what about him bagging the eels and Riles can't coach? What do you think of
Well, funny thing about
from
that...
the dog?
He took on Andrew Johns too, which, it's unheard of.
He's an immortal. You can't do that to an immortal bulldog. Stop it. But Jason Riles, I got to know him through Piggy Bradell. They're great mates, right? And so the one piece of advice, I had a meeting with Jason before he took over. He said, you got any tips? And I gave him a tip about the media, how to handle the media as a head coach as opposed to an assistant coach. I also said, don't let Piggy anywhere near the team because he's got a dreadful record as an assistant coach. And he copped that tip. And Piggy's a mate of mine as well. But I just sensed in the meetings I had with him, he's a very measured bloke who is determined to be successful. He puts the hours in, and I can't believe there's been criticism of him. You only got to watch him last week. This is a different Parramatta team.
Agree.
And a big call Gutherson going and all the rest of it. They've got this brilliant young fullback doing unbelievable things. They've got blokes playing in the back row, playing out of their skin. And I just think that I'm not going to predict that they're grand finalists in 2026, but whatever Riles is there, they'll win more games than they lose. I'm sure.
I agree. Bulldog, he's missed the mark on that one. Before you go, now, our man over here, assistant coach for the Kangaroos.
I read that with some...
Any tips, any advice?
With some anticipation. Well, I went on 3 Kangaroo tours, and I'd say this to you, Gordon, and you know I treasure you. I think you're a fantastic fella. However, I mean, in '94 particularly, there were no mobile phones and there was no social media. There is now an eye in everything you do. When I first went on a Kangaroo tour, senior journalists, some who are now departed, called me aside and said, we're going to explain the rules to you, son. And I said, what's the rules? It was 1990, long time ago. They said, right, if there's a bit of drama and the police are involved, it's open slather. If the police aren't called, nothing's ever said. And that was the mantra.
That was it.
If the British police were involved in an incident, and in 1994 there were quite a few incidents. There were quite a few. And I have a feeling the coach may have been involved in some of the incidents. There was nothing illegal done, but when he gets with Alfie, Alfie's not the coaching.
No, look, I'm not too sure. Do you want to be media manager?
No.
Because I reckon he can look after all that.
No.
Right, how about
It'd be a lot easier than the poor old managers like Keith Barnes and other... their job was to go and get the pay every week from the bank, and I used to walk up with them, but Keith particularly put his head in his hand and say, oh, no, I don't want to know about that.
I reckon you'll be right, Gordy. I reckon you'll be right.
No, Gordy... You'll be fine.
Absolutely love your work. Good luck with face-to-face with Ray Hadley. Can't wait to watch the episodes coming up.
Lovely to be with you, boys. All the best.
Good on you, Ray. Up next, we reveal our player of the round. And following us, it's the latest edition of Matty and Cronk.
Back towards the uprights. Chance here for Rocco Berry. Adokar cleans up, gets away, nobody in front of him. And in his milestone game, Josh Adokar runs the length of the field to put the Eels on top.
Welcome back. That was Josh Adokar making his mark thanks to Steel Blue Boots. And our sports bet player performance of the round is Mark Nwanganita-Wase with 73% of the vote. Gordy.
Fully deserved it.
He was
what
too
a game.
good. 4 tries on the weekend.
Absolutely.
That's it for NRL 360 for tonight. Now it's time for Matty and Cronk.